Hi Aries, welcome to my channel if you are new. My channel is Intuitive Guidance and my name is Nikita. For those of you who are returning, welcome back. Thank you so much for your support and I hope you guys enjoy this reading. This reading is going to be about the person that you are thinking of when you clicked on the reading, how they feel about you and their next course of action towards you, if any. So let's just get straight into it. If you would like a personal reading, all my details are in the description box below. You'll find them there as always. So I've just asked generally about what's going on in your person's life in general, what's going on in your life, or what more than what's going on, what is the lesson, what is the major theme in you and your person's life right now. So, and then kind of this middle energy is just kind of what happened or what the lesson was. So in your person's life, we have gold. You don't need someone else to fix you. It looks like that. Really like these cards a lot. And in yours, you've got throne. Your potential is endless. And then the middle energy is Phoenix. How's that for happily ever after? So I'm going to start with your energy and what got you here and why you met this person in the first place, because that's the way the messages are directing me. So with throne, your potential is endless. I think what happened was this relationship came into your life and it seemed really, really important for you. It seemed like something that you had to have. And you were very, very, very much drawn to this person, drawn to this situation. You might not have even known why, but there was a huge lesson in this particular connection. So you, in your mind, because you were so drawn to this person, because it was such a temptation, I feel like you became fixated on this, you and this person having that happy ever after together. But there was supposed to be a lesson in this connection. It was supposed to be like a karmic lesson rather than you guys being together. And the lesson here was, as always, self-love and to push you onto the right path. So you were so fixated on the ending of this, with you two coming together, that you neglected your own needs and your own focus and vision, which should have just been you. Your focus just needed to be on you, but you became fixated to the outcome of this connection. So it all kind of unfolded and there was a lot of synchronicities, but it seemed to confuse you more because it felt to you like even more so that this person was for you, because it just seemed that, okay, so I just heard some of you even thought this person was a twin flame. You were sure that this person was your twin flame and that was why there were so many challenges, because it wasn't a smooth journey. But it was one that seemed like, why am I so drawn to this person? There were so many questions you had. Why am I so drawn to this person? Why can't I let them go? Why is it that we seem so connected? Why do I feel such an attachment to them? And that was because they were supposed to be in your life, but not forever. It was supposed to be a temporary thing so that you could learn this lesson of self-love, of appreciating your attributes, your flaws, your personality traits, and your shadow side, and actually embracing it rather than running from it and trying to become somebody that was best for your partner or the person that you wanted to be with, rather than just learning who you were, appreciating and embracing that, and then finding someone who complemented that. It's like, I feel like you lost yourself a bit in this connection, trying to be somebody that you thought that this person would want. So you were seeking that approval and that worthiness from outside of yourself. And so you projected that onto this person, which obviously a lot of us do. It's a lesson that we, like 90% of us have to learn. I would love to say 100%, but I'm going to leave that 10%. And these aren't factual statistics, but there's so many of us that have to learn that lesson of finding happiness internally and not looking for it externally. And so you were just a normal person seeking the approval of someone that you thought once you had them, you would feel complete, you would feel whole, you'd feel like you were worth it, you'd feel like the chase was worth it. So there's this runner chaser vibe, and for you, you thought that this person would bring you that happiness that you've been seeking, that acceptance that you'd been seeking, that love that you wanted. And with How's That for Happily Ever After and Phoenix, this is definitely a situation where it was a complete tower moment. It was a complete destruction. So something happened here where you two ended. I do believe you're in separation currently, but something happened where it ended, and it was like dramatic, and it had to be dramatic because it really had to get the point across to you that it's over. And in that point coming across to you, you needed to learn that does that mean that you're not worth anything because this person walked away or left or chose someone else? Whatever the situation was, it was supposed to show you that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and to find that love within yourself. And guess what? You did, because right here with your potential is endless and you're sitting on the throne. You really came into your power. These are queens. You really came into your power. You really realized who you were, what you liked. You really just learned about yourself and realized how strong you were and how much actually you don't need someone to show you how amazing you are. However you see yourself is how others will see you. And you learned that about yourself. How to love and accept yourself. And you also learned why placing all of this power onto this person, for them to approve you and them to love you and them to accept you, it actually just done the opposite, because you weren't given that to yourself. And so that you were just a reflection of the love you didn't have for yourself, and they showed you that in exchange. So that was the ending. It was very dramatic. It was very hurtful. It was very like a shock to the system, and it was a blow to the ego. Now this person has, you don't need someone else to fix you. So they are in the same position as well. It might be that they have a lot of ego, but they also seek acceptance outside of themselves. It's just that they are in more of a runner energy. So they seem to be going on and meeting someone, and they get all excited, they become happy, and they think they found someone that could really, I get a sense that they're kind of like, they also seek to find that and their circle's approval. So say they brought a guy or a girl home, they want people to be like, wow, how did you bag that? How did you do that? So they care about their circle of people around them as well, what they think, just as much as, them kind of validating themselves. So I get a superficial energy. They kind of go for the same type of people because they feel like it will impress others. They also feel like it's, like I said, validating them. But then they realize that there's still this void. And because there's still that void there, it just doesn't, the shine kind of wears off very quickly, and then they move on to the next person and the same thing happens. And so while I feel like you've really learned about yourself, who you are, and how to love and accept yourself and how to approve of yourself, which has put you in a really good position in terms of being in your power. I don't feel they've had that same transformation as you. I feel like they kind of didn't really learn from this situation. If they did, it was nowhere near as much as they needed to, and it was just kind of like, it shook things up a bit for them, but not completely changed them. I feel like they haven't learned like how you have over here. They're still kind of seeking that acceptance, that approval from other people's validation, from other people saying to them, oh, you're this and you're that, and wow, or being impressed or being in awe, or, you know, I feel like they're very competitive with the people around them. But they're just still avoiding them. They just can't seem to find that happiness, and they don't really understand why. And that is why, because they need to find it within themselves. So let's look at these Doreen Virtue cards. It's the love message for Aries, my person. So we'll look at how this person feels about you and your connection currently. It doesn't mean you're together. I did say I see that for a lot of you, you are in separation right now. How does this person feel about Aries and the connection, or lack of connection? Passion fell out, so they still have passion for you. How does the person that Aries is thinking about, Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, how does the person they're thinking about feel about Aries and the connection right now, currently? Love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you romantically attractive. Retreat. So they did take some time off, or they have taken some time off at some point. Maybe it was just after this happened, just to kind of understand maybe where they were going wrong. They might have disconnected, and in the disconnect between you and them, they took some time to assess their, you know, where they're going wrong, their wrongdoings, and how they contributed to this tower. It is safe for you to love, and wedding. So it is safe for you to love, open your heart, and give and receive, to give and receive the highest energy of all. And the situation involves marriage. I think this person can see the potential in something long term with you. They could see that. They just couldn't quite. It's like every time it came close to you guys having some kind of connection, or because I don't necessarily think that you guys were together, as in like officially together, but I think you were seeing each other. Maybe you've had a hard time getting this person to commit, and I feel like maybe they wanted to, but deep down, this void that they couldn't quite seem to fill made them run. So every time it came to a point where it might have been okay for you guys to love each other and just be a couple or be together, it scared them and they ran. And they would disconnect again. I also feel that in the moment that all of this has happened, they started to realize some things about themselves. They might have always blamed other people for the way things went, but they started to realize, this kind of showed them, this situation with you and them showed them that they need to be a bit more accountable. Again, I don't feel they've had the change that they needed, the massive change they needed, but they definitely had some kind of shake up. So let's see, Aries, how do you feel about this person and the connection? Flirt. Unrequited love. Sorry, Aries. I feel like you felt that this person loved attention. They loved attention. They loved it when you flirt with them. It's like they fed off of that attention you gave them, and other people gave them. This flirtatious energy, but they always like to keep it light-hearted. But when it came down to it, you realized that, well, you thought that the love was unrequited, I'm going to say. Because I don't necessarily think that this person didn't have feelings for you. I think they didn't realize that the love started with themselves. And if they couldn't show themselves that love, it's very difficult to show others that, because they're chasing the next high. And that's what they did here with the flirt cards. But I think you just started, in the lesson that you received, you realized, hang on a second, the love wasn't requited by them. It didn't, that's not how someone who loves you would treat you. And they might not have done anything so terrible, so crazy, so sad. They just didn't reciprocate your feelings. And I think you just became accepting of that. Reconciliation. But you do want to see how they're doing. You do want to know about them. Of course, you did click on this reading. So for those of you who obviously clicked, you wanted to maybe find out about this person, how they're doing, what's going on, if they still think about you. So you do want a reconciliation, but I don't necessarily think that you want to reconcile, rekindle where things were, get back together, try and work it out. I just feel like you might even want to show this person that I'm not the same person as I was before. And secretly you're thinking, and that's down to you. You might not want to necessarily tell them that part, but I do feel that you want to show them the new you, the new reinvention of you. That was let go of control issues that slipped out. So yeah, there's a part of you that wants to show like who you've become, because you're proud of it. And you just want to see how they're doing, what would they say if they were around you. You want to kind of show how strong you are now, because I feel like you were in a weak place here and you're aware of that. Attraction. So there is a part of you that still wants them to kind of be attracted to you and be attracted but not be able to have you. You want to kind of show them how it feels to want something you can't have. For some of you, I don't get like a really negative, dark energy there. I just think you just want to kind of be like, a little bit of, I wouldn't even say payback, but just kind of like, look at me now. I'm not the same person. And you're just curious. You want to know what they're doing, how they're doing. So there was a really strong past life connection here. And that's why it felt so familiar. That's why it felt so unfinished. Like there was unfinished business all the time. No matter how much you guys walked away or decided, I'm not going to do this anymore, there was always this feeling of unfinished until this happened. So it was almost like justice and judgment at the same time. there's a really beautiful song by Ella Henderson, and it's called Beautifully Unfinished, and I feel like it was really much suited to this particular situation or this reading. It's a really lovely song, just talking about, in fact, the words speak for themselves, so if you want to listen to it, it's Ella Henderson, and it's called Beautifully Unfinished. And I still feel like it's just like this situation for you guys is always unfinished. There's this feeling of an unfinished business. And that's just because I think it's karmic, and you've spent so many past lives together, and it's just like you just keep meeting up. Again, Aries, I apologize. Annoying. Yeah, so I just feel like you have spent a lot of lifetimes together, but obviously when you come back into a life, it's kind of like the slate is wiped clean and you've forgotten, but there seems to be some kind of backstory. You know, a good thing to do is like a past life regression. How effective it is, I don't know. I've had a couple and it didn't work for me actually. And there is somebody I would like to go to do that again. The COVID situation happened, so it didn't happen, and I've been waiting for a year. But you know, eventually I would like to get a past life regression. But I feel like you definitely, from what I've seen from some people who have had that hypnosis, they do recognize the people that are in their life today, but they were somebody else in the previous life. But you know, there's a lot of the time, the people that we are around today are the same souls and energies that we were around in past lives. But that's going a bit off topic here, so let's see how this person. Okay, so they're feeling quite alone right now, the person you're thinking of. So they might not have anyone in their energy. I feel like the universe is kind of calling to them to discover that you don't need someone else to fix you. And that's the main thing here. Yes, feel alone and be happy on your own. I don't necessarily think this person's scared of being on their own. They're not opposed to being on their own. They might spend a lot of time on their own even when necessary. They can maybe dip in and out and things like that. But I feel they're longing for a meaningful connection. Are they thinking about Aries? Is this person thinking about Aries? Well-deserved reward. So they do see you as kind of like, almost like when they figured it out, they want to return to you and you're like this prize to be won. Success and growth. Dreams coming true. So they feel like once they've achieved what they need to accomplish, they can come towards you. So you're in a position kind of where you're kind of like, I feel great, I'm achieving what I want, or I've achieved what I want, I'm in this position where I'm feeling good, I'm in my power, blah blah blah, and you want to reconcile. They aren't in that position yet, so they're kind of like, I want to get to a position where I've done everything I wanted to do and I can come back and say, hey, look at me, I've grown, I've developed, look what I've got now. They don't feel quite ready to come back and be like, everything has changed for me and I'm doing so well now, because it hasn't. And actually they're feeling quite alone and kind of stuck. They're trying to work on something, but they're also trying to figure out how they can become successful. They've not quite mastered it yet. But love is here with the 6. Love. So they do feel that way about you. They do have this strong connection, this strong bond to you, and they know it. But they just keep thinking, now's not the right time to go back. Now's not the right time to go back. I need to achieve this. I need to do that. Whereas you're like, I'm not quite there yet, but I'm in a much better place than I was. And I'm happy for you to see me in my natural state, because I know who I am. I love who I am now. I know myself. Whoa. So you're in a good place, but they don't feel like they're ready to come towards you for that reason. But there's definitely love here, and they definitely plan on one day returning to you. Show me Aries. Yeah, so you have rebuild. So it took you a long time to rebuild yourself. It took dedication, it took hard work, but you're there. Nurture. So you've been nurturing yourself. You've been focused on yourself. So with this win or lose, I feel that it's number 5. So this was something that you always had some kind of conflict within yourself with. And it's a lot of ego as well. And it was kind of like in this situation, you just felt you had to win this person's heart. Because then it would mean that you were wrong, that you wasted your time, that, you know, you got it wrong. And I feel like you kind of learned that, you know, through nurturing yourself and through rebuilding based off of genuine love and time spent on yourself and understanding and compassion, nurturing who you are rather than running from it, rather than running from that shadow side, from that dark side that you didn't want to claim. You kind of didn't want to accept. You kind of embraced it and just decided to nurture it so that it wasn't so dark, or there was some kind of balance. I think you realized that it was never about winning or losing. And the more you chased that win, the further away from it you got. And for some of you, I'm hearing it was, you were trying to win this person's heart, this person's affection, because there were other people on the scene that seemed to be getting their attention. So you've really learnt your lesson here while they're still kind of going through it, to be fair. Yeah. Again, we've got recognition and reward. So they really feel like they need to achieve something before they come back. They need to be able to say, I've done this, I've done that, look at how far I've come. But they still need to find that balance. They still haven't found that balance in their life. Rejoice in celebration. So they are planning to come back, but it's like when they've achieved. Again, there's somewhat, with these 2 3s, they're somewhat through some kind of completion, but they're still not quite there in their mind. They're not where they want to be. And again, I just saw a 3. So they're waiting for that achievement in whatever they're doing. They want to be successful. There's a lot of, with deception and envy, there's a lot of people that they're feeling like they're around them, they're winning, they're doing something, they seem to be achieving a lot, and your person is in a position right now where they feel like they're not accomplishing what they need to accomplish. And it's really because they're not learning this lesson as well. Partly it's because of that, and it's kind of seeping into other areas of their life. They seem to be in competition with a lot of people, but they're watching people achieve and obtain their goals, and they're wondering why it's not happening for them, or why they're working hard, and because I just feel like they're not going about things the right way as well. They're not being, it's almost like they don't mind trying to stamp on someone else's head to get above the rest. They're not approaching it in a genuine, compassionate, nice, kind way. It's kind of like, if I have to push this person out the way to get to the top, then that's what I'll have to do. So they're kind of, it's like in a mean-spirited way, and they need to realize that you don't have to be so ruthless, so competitively ruthless and relentless. You don't have to be better than someone else. Learn from people and see how are they becoming successful? Why are they becoming successful? What is their attitude like? But instead they're kind of like desperately competing to get to the top, and it's making them very resentful and very bitter because they're not achieving that same success. They don't mind deceiving in order to get one over on people, on a person that they feel is, you know, doing better than them. And it's a very negative trait. They need to realize that we all help each other, whether we realize it or not. And they might actually laugh at that statement that I just said, but it's true. We all can add some value to each other's life. It's not about tearing someone else down or trying to get ahead of them, is so that you can win and you can do better. It's actually a good idea to watch what the people that are successful are doing. How can you do what they're doing? How can they inspire you? Connect with people to find out their way of doing things, you know, and networking and things like that. And this person, they're not really grasping that concept. They're more like, okay, well, I'm going to have to do this to get above this person, you know. So their life is a bit messy right now. I feel like you're definitely on different frequencies. Whereas you are here, show me Aries, believing in yourself, and you're doing the opposite. You're using others to get to understand yourself better, actually, and what you can improve and change, and how you can grow awareness. You're aware that you can learn a lot from others. Stand your ground, prosperity begins, and patience and planning. So you're trying to get somewhere, but you know, you're trying to get to this, your fulfillment of wishes. And you're aware that, you know, one day this harmony will come and you'll meet the person that complements you, that you balance each other out. But right now you're focusing on your fulfillment of wishes, on what's going to make you happy. And you're being patient about it, you're being grateful. And again, like, I see this as two separate hands. Like, you're using other people to build yourself up, and anything that you can do to help them, you're doing the same, because you see that in order to get somewhere, we need each other. No man is an island. Stand your ground. So you're setting more boundaries. You're allowing the people that are on the same frequency as you to come into your life and to add some value. But the people that don't, the people that are maybe more negative or that don't make you feel good, you're having boundaries in place, and you're deciding who. For some of you might be empathic, and I think you're deciding what you let affect you, and the people that affect you in a negative way, you're kind of like detaching emotionally from them. So you're able to kind of keep up the appearance of, you know, if they're still in your life or whatever, but you're setting boundaries yourself, and you know, you might make up an excuse if they were to say, oh, I'm going to come round, or can I come round and we can do blah, blah, blah. And you're just kind of, I won't be in today, but if you want to call me and let me know what's going on with you, I can give you some advice, or, you know, just like keeping those people at an arm's length. So let's look at, so I don't, in honesty, I don't think this person is ready to come into your life. It wouldn't work out right now because you're ahead of them in your growth. Show me Aries person. Strength card. The Empress. Oh yeah, they see that you're in your power. I don't know how. I don't know if you have them on social media. I don't know if they see you. I don't know if they're getting word about you. I'm not sure, but they definitely see how strong you are and how in your power you are. And that's also making them scared to come forward, because they're like, whoa, like, I am not in that position as of yet. And if I'm coming forward, I need this person to see, you know, after all our trials and tribulations, that I'm doing better from it, or I'm just doing better anyway. Like, you know, the best revenge is success, or, you know, and they just kind of feel like, well, I'm actually in a worse place than I was. So it's like they're trying to duck down and hide low, because they can see that you're loved by a lot of people. Your friendship circle might have expanded, or the people that you speak to, or the amount you go out. They can see that you seem to be just doing well for yourself. In terms of how you're dressing, how you look, maybe you lost some weight or something that was a more dramatic change for some of you. But it's more of an inner beauty is what I'm seeing with the Strength card here. It's more like you just are radiant, like it shines through. You don't have to say anything. Sorry, I'm shaking you. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to do anything to prove that you're this Empress. You just are. It's an energy that's coming from within you, and they're seeing that for sure, 100%. You know, when you look at someone, something's different about them. I'm not sure what it is, but something's different about them. They're just, I don't know. Never noticed they had such beautiful eyes, or never noticed this. And it's just because the way they see themselves, the way they're viewing themselves is different. It's nothing to do with, you know, how beautiful they look or how amazing they look. You know, if you've seen that person every day, something changes about them. It's that their natural beauty is just shining through, their soul is coming through, and how they see themselves is reflecting on how you see them. And it's the same. So this person could have been a fire sign, Aries like yourself, Leo or Sagittarius as well. So you've kind of got your back turned to them. And they're facing ahead. I think you'd entertain them if they came back, but not in that same way. It's almost like you want to be like I said here, like, I've changed, I've grown, I'm not really that person anymore. How are you though? You know, we can still be friends. But it's almost like you just really want to show this person like how much you've grown, who you are now. Almost like you couldn't disrespect me now like you did then. The World. So they've seen that you have changed. They've seen you're more confident in who you are. You're not ashamed of anything. You've used this to really create a new version of yourself. You're still you. It's just like you've really embraced it and you're just really in your power. And they can see that. I'm asking how, you know, how they're seeing you. And that. Sorry, Aries, I'm just going to wrap this up because this storage thing is getting really annoying. It keeps cutting out and I've got to fix it and sort it. So, as I was saying, I don't even remember what I was saying now, but with the World card, there's the Six of Cups. I do get though that if they were to come back, they would want things to be different. They were aware that last time it was effed up, it was messed up, and I think they tried to get away with a lot. There was a lot of lies, there was a lot of deceit, there was a lot of manipulation, of trying to like use women or use men as like pawns on a chessboard. They really played games, almost like they juggled people around, and you know, they played with your emotions, they played with other people's emotions, and they knew what they were doing. So I do get that they do feel like things would have to be different, and that's why they want to achieve something here. Not because they want to get back with you, but they want to achieve something before they come back, before they return, before you guys rekindle anything. They do want to have this sense of completion so that they don't feel like the need to behave the way they did last time. They do want a new cycle, but they want it to be different. So what is their next course of action? They still believe that you're angry with them, though. I do think that with the Queen of Swords, they think that if they were to come back, you'd really put them in their place. So there is an element of them wanting to feel really confident when they come back. So even if you rejected them, they'd be so good in their lives that they don't really, it doesn't affect them like that. Yeah, the Six of Pentacles, they want to feel like they're on an even keel with you in terms of where you are in the material world, your environment, how stable you are. So until then, they're not going to return, but they are planning on making a return. They do see that. They see you as their future happiness. Like when they have this, they do want to make a return. They're waiting for their ships to come in, as this card is known. They're waiting to see progress in their own lives, another 3, and then they can come in and be the person that you need them to be. And experience with you this 4 of Wands that was trying to come out. They do feel that you bring balance, you bring harmony. They do feel like they could be happy with you. You guys might really laugh when you're together. And that is something that they really appreciate. The fun side of you. When things were good, they were good. The Moon card. And the Knight of Cups. So they don't really know how you feel about them anymore. They don't know if you still have that love there for them or the feelings that you had before. They don't know if you think about them romantically or if you want something romantically. They're a little bit confused on that. I think some days they think to themselves that, yeah, this person's got to still feel that way about me. And other days they're like, nah, they're over it. They're over it. I don't think they see me like that anymore. They don't even think about me anymore. So they go back and forth in their mind about how you feel about them. But all in all, I think, yeah, the 4 of Swords. So there's no communication here. They do believe you were withdrawn from the situation, but at one point they felt like they could come back and it would be fine. But every day that goes by that nothing's happening, they do think, does this person still feel this way about me? All in all, I feel like they're not going to make any action until they feel they're in a better place. Yeah, they're very conflicted because they do feel to themselves, you're out, you know, the longer they leave it, the less likely you are to even be receptive to them. It's kind of like, oh, it's just going to seem like a negative place to you. Like, oh yeah, I remember that. It was quite a dark time. You were quite a dark time. You know, what are you doing back, kind of thing. I don't really fancy going back into that energy again. But they're also feeling very jealous at the moment as well. They think that you've got a lot of other people in your energy, or people that are fighting for your attention. They believe that there's people who want you, and they're jealous of that for sure. With this Devil energy, I'm feeling like loads of jealousy. They're almost they're jealous of the attention that you're giving others, and they're aware that you are sought after, so they're also aware that there are people trying to gain your attention and they don't like it. It's actually kind of, I think they think about it sometimes and it tortures them. It hurts their ego to know that you are very attractive and you're gaining a lot of attention from people. Your Knight of Swords, yeah, it makes them angry for sure, 100%. It makes them angry. It makes them feel impatient. It makes them feel like they want to rush in and come and claim you again. The Nine of Cups and the High Priestess. But they do believe that you're happy without them. And that's also something that makes them angry and upset. This Devil like speaks volumes. Like there's a lot of negative feelings going on here. Jealousy, anger, kind of a thing of like, how dare you? But it's not like they think that they know they've done wrong, or they know why, but it's just that it's just they don't want anyone else to have you. And they know you're attractive, and they know that you're sought after, like I said, and when they really think about it, it really frustrates them. The Tower. And that's the thing that makes them feel like they want to come back in. The Tower and the Eight of Cups. Them walking away. But the thing that makes them want to come back is, so this person knows you are going to find someone that appreciates you, and they realize they didn't appreciate you, and for that reason you're obviously within your rights to be with someone that makes you happy, and they realize they don't have a leg to stand on. So they're really frustrated with themselves, actually, more than the situation, because they know they effed up, they know they blew something good, and they will always have to live with the fact that you're the one that got away. And truly deep down, that's how they feel about you. You're the one that got away. You're the one that they messed things up with, and you're possibly the one that they can never make things right with again. And that's how they feel. Will they take that action towards you? I guess that remains to be seen. But the idea is they're going to have to make a lot of changes, and they aren't close yet. So if you were going to wait, which I doubt you are, you'd be waiting a while. They need structure in their life. They need to organize themselves. They need to find who they are, because right now they're kind of lost as this Page of Wands, searching for this stability that they need to find within themselves before they look for it anywhere else. This balance, this harmony, this stability, this connection that they seem to have lost with the world. They're disconnected from their higher self as well. So Aries, that's how this person feels about you, and right now they're not going to be taking any action towards you for the reasons I stated. They need to sort themselves out, and they're aware of that, but they're also scared because they do believe that other people are gaining your attention and you'll settle down without them. And they might very well be watching you as well, to see who you're seeing, who you're with, who you're around. If they can, they're trying to suss that out too. So guys, if you would like a personal reading on your own personal situation, then my details are in the description box below, as I said previously. If you like the video, please give it a like. You can share it, you can subscribe, or you can comment, or you can do all. I'm wishing you guys all the very best, and I love you lots, and I'll speak to you guys soon. Bye.